Okay, so I didn't realize we would actually talk about this player in this kind of way again, but here we are, I guess. So today we're talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois, Winnipeg Jets center acquired from the Columbus Blue Jackets, where he was initially a third overall pick back in 2016, was a fairly effective two-way center down the middle, and eventually faded out in a very negative way with that club before being traded over to Winnipeg. Now, Dubois is in a position where he honestly has had a pretty rough past year, I guess. We had ourselves the entire trade saga in the past few months that was such a big deal and that had everybody talking and that had so many rumors attached to it with coaching issues and Tortorella and all that. And it got even worse before Dubois was actually traded because we had ourselves what was known as the shift. Or I guess you could say the final shift of Pierre-Luc Dubois and his time with the Columbus Blue Jackets, where he was absolutely abysmal. You think two-way center, you think two-way responsibility, you think offensive capabilities of going up the ice with the puck. This guy absolutely did not show up in his very last moments as a Blue Jacket, which is why he got benched. He then got traded, and now things are the way they are, where he is in Winnipeg, and I mean, he's making a boatload of money as a guy on that team, let's just say that. Now, we had ourselves a really interesting interview done with Pierre-Luc Dubois recently. He was on the 31 Thoughts podcast with Friedman and Merrick. Now, I will say, just a big disclaimer over here, 31 Thoughts is a long, long show, and they have themselves guests that stick on for a long, long time. These quotes are just a small fraction of what Dubois had to say on the 31 Thoughts podcast. So if anybody's going out there thinking, oh, Dubois went on this podcast and he just went on the podcast to talk about this in a bad way, that's not what's happening here. It's one part of this long interview, so a link is going to be in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to the full episode of the recent 31 Thoughts podcast. But the reason we're talking about Dubois here today is because of the comments he made regarding his departure from Columbus. And I just kind of got to say, man, what the hell? Like, this is weird. This is really strange. I don't really feel super at ease reading this because it's so somewhat cryptic, the things that he was talking about. Now, before we actually go over onto the quotes and we read them, let me tell you about today's sponsor for the video. Now, I know you're watching this video most likely on your smartphone, on your computer. Some may actually watch this on a TV because I know some people do that. But either way, when you're watching this stuff online, you're on a mobile browser, you're on an application on your smartphone or tablet, what if I told you there was a way to go out there, use these services in a more safe and secure way? Well, ExpressVPN's got your answer. They're the #1 trusted virtual private network that allows users to securely browse the internet through the use of its best-in-class data encryption technology. It also allows users to bypass geo-restrictions on streaming sites, allowing you to access thousands of new shows from around the world. ExpressVPN have teamed up with me to give you a great opportunity at getting some of their services for free, with further details being available on their website. So the link is down there in the description for ExpressVPN. Go out there, browse the internet, do so in a safe manner, and you'll be helping out this channel when you do so, so I would really appreciate that. Either way, let's go over onto this article on Sportsnet, Why Pierre-Luc Dubois Kept Silent About His Trade Request. This was published a few days ago after the 31 Thoughts podcast episode was recorded. It's published by Luke Fox over here, and a link will be in the description as well. Based off of the title, you can kind of infer some of the things we'll be highlighting here. Yes, Dubois was traded. Yes, Dubois has not publicly come out and told the media why he actually wanted to get traded, which is his right. He definitely does not have the obligation to tell anybody anything if he so desires not to, but these comments here go over the response to that and why he decided to choose the no-comment path. This is also how his silence fueled some painful speculation from the outside. For me, the hard part was when I got traded, it was the people kind of putting words in my mouth like why he wants out. This happened or this happened. These people that have never met me, that have no idea who I am, have probably never done an interview with me either. It was kind of tough to deal with that. It was hard on my parents, to be honest. For my mom to see stuff like that, it was tough on her. That was a very hard part in my life, and I went through it, and I'm still alive. There's worse things that can happen. Now, before we proceed any further, just kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit here. Social media is tough. It is. It's kind of a blanket of weight that can just go on and pile and pile and pile on top of you if you let it. But that's kind of the thing there, if you let it. Now, I'm not going to go out there and say that Pierre-Luc Dubois is bad at managing his social media interaction. It's just, we live in an age now where not even just YouTube channels like this one, where I give my own opinions about things, are quite rampant. We have random people all over the world, all over the internet, who have themselves the opportunities to go out there and give their 2 cents. Anybody from the analyst who has been sitting in his basement watching hockey for the past 20 years, to the random kid that just got off the block playing roller hockey with his buds after 3rd grade math class. We have opinions from everybody out there, and it's not fair to go on social media expecting to always be treated with respect 100% of the time. Furthermore, you also have to discuss Pierre-Luc Dubois and the manner in which he actually was traded from the Blue Jackets. I don't want to go out there and make it seem like Dubois is a bad person or anything. He seems like a pretty humble dude. It's just, you gotta remember what happened, man. You remember the shift? Remember the last moments that this guy had as a member of the Blue Jackets, going out there, just grazing by, not doing anything, going backwards and forwards, eventually leaving the ice and getting sat for the rest of the game, because what the hell was that kind of shift? At the end of the day, you're a professional athlete, you're playing in the top hockey league in the world, this is the best sports league for this sport that you play. You had just gotten your payday a few weeks prior to when the season began from the Blue Jackets, a $5 million AAV contract for 2 seasons, and what? There's conflict with the coach, there's debate as to whether or not things are going the way they should, you play on the ice like he did in that shift. There's no wonder the Blue Jackets traded this guy away with that kind of effort, with all the stuff behind the scenes, because Pierre-Luc Dubois is not going to go out there and talk about this publicly to the media, whatever that is. Okay, but you're still a professional athlete getting paid millions of dollars, and because you're in this position, you are not free from criticism. Now, I get it. Most of the things that people say on Instagram or Twitter comments or whatever, it's not really criticism, it's just kind of harsh, incorrigible trolling efforts or messages from people that just kind of want to hate for the sake of hating. But still, you're making millions of dollars playing hockey. These are the people that fund the sport that you watch through ticket sales, through revenue and all that stuff. These are the people that are wanting to be entertained by the product that you put on, or they want to see you do well in the sweater they cheer for. At the end of the day, you're above these people in the hockey hierarchy, because you're a player, they're not. So ultimately, it's just the age-old thing of, if you have so much stuff flooding your Instagram DMs, just turn off your phone, man. Like, you don't need to deal with that stuff. And furthermore, with the way that Dubois exited the Blue Jacket system, with all the controversy and with all the coaching stuff and with all the bad play out there on the ice, he gets his payday, he starts underperforming, he goes over to Winnipeg and he's got new life in him or whatever. It's understandable to me, at least, that it's difficult to swallow that as a fan of the Blue Jackets. It makes things even worse when we don't know why you left, so obviously, you know, the way things went down, I'm not surprised that Pierre-Luc Dubois was met with all this stuff that he's complaining that he received through the form of social media. I guess I'll say harassment. Like, normally, if it was like a normal person that's not a hockey player, I'd say it's harassment. But like, it's different when your face is being plastered all over the households in the area when you score a game-winning goal in overtime that sends your team to the second round. You're no longer just an average Joe when that happens. You are a figure in that community. So, mean-spirited? Sure. Trolls? Definitely. But is it worth getting ticked off about and actually expending energy towards, especially if you're in this position where you are? Probably not, and furthermore, it's not like you have the right to go out there and say that it's unjustified either. So, for Pierre-Luc Dubois, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I'm the guy going out there and making these statements on social media that Pierre-Luc Dubois is getting pissed off about. I don't know if he's referring to just trolls on the comments of NHL Instagram posts, or people on his DMs, or people just bringing up hearsay. I don't know if he's talking about me, you know, like just some guys on the internet who make videos talking about their opinions. I try my best to not be, you know, a conceited troll or whatever. I'm just kind of trying to look at things from all perspectives over here. You sucked when you were at the end of your tenure in Columbus, and you signed that big deal beforehand. It's not like Blue Jackets fans are going out there trying to sympathize with this guy. Sure, it sucks to see people piling up on you online, but you live in a different world from us, man. Different expectations, different job status, different position in society. So it's a lot more difficult to go out there and actually sympathize in this situation here. So talk to me in the comments what do you think about Pierre-Luc Dubois and this weird interview that he did. I mean, look, it's a long one. There are a lot of other things I talk about, so a link is in the description to the podcast itself if you want to listen to the full interview. Not everything they talk about is all doom and gloom, like what Pierre-Luc Dubois is talking about here with his cyber harassment, I guess, from the trade fallout. He does say that maybe one day he'll write a book as to why everything went down. And I'll say this, if it comes to that point, I mean, it's probably something that was really bad if it's getting to the point where he's not able to talk about it. But still, he hasn't spoken about it, so he doesn't have that benefit of the doubt. So, either way, talk to me in the comments what do you think about Dubois. ExpressVPN is there for you if you want to go out there, start browsing the internet with your own security and safety measures in place that are very, very helpful. Helps out the channel too if you end up doing that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.